Hi folks, I'm Linda K. Gifford, and I am not a prostitute. I am not a sex worker. I am a neuro-linguistic practitioner. I've studied for 23 years, and I am a CSA survivor. And I'm holding Georgie and my Rubik's Cube because these things give me comfort. And today, like, we're starting late. I apologize if you saw my live leading into this. I normally live in a very quiet neighborhood, but the neighbors are doing a wonderful remodeling job, and I guess today was like paving the driveway or the something behind the house day. So it's been like, and it's right out the window. So here we go. All right. I got one side. I can get all the way to the bottom, the sides, and then I just have like the last step that I don't have memorized yet on the Rubik's Cube. But I'm kind of a Rubik's Cube geek. I've got 3 of them. Did you know I have Asperger's? Or the disease formerly known as Asperger's syndrome. It's not a disease though, it's just a condition. And here's the deal. We're talking about the D in spades today, and I have discovered along the way gotta keep twitching, that children who are autistic, especially girls, are, in my era especially, we weren't looking, and we're still not looking very hard, but autistic children are so easy to victimize because we already don't get the social rules, you know, but we don't know that. We just think we're weird, you know, and so part of not waiting to feel okay to be okay, what I mean by that is realizing that every one of us is weird. There's no normal. Normal is some least common denominator that people are trying to get to, and you don't need to be there. But as a survivor of childhood sexual assault, I, at least, discovered that the feelings I have of fear to walk into a room, fear that I don't look right, I didn't dress right, something everyone can tell. I just know that everyone knows. You know, I used to. I'm a different person now. But it took a long time to realize the patterns that I had built. And even though I'm very social, I put my CD back out there today, actually, to raise money for Sweet Survivor, and because Little Girl is highly featured in the book. Little Girl is a song that I wrote all the way back in like 2000. Yeah, like right when I was starting this journey and realizing that I was a victim. And it's very relevant, and I decided to raise money for Sweet Survivor with it. So if you're interested, and even if you're not, maybe go check it out. A song on the same CD did get cut by Del McCurry, and he won the IBMA 2004 Bluegrass Music Award Album of the Year. Not because of my song, I'm just saying it's on that album. And I am the only female writer on that album, which is interesting. And it was a really fun party, too, which is also interesting. Oh, see what I keep, like, it's flopping around? Okay, I've been harassed so much. I'm not a prostitute, like I was saying at the top. See my ring? Yeah. I'm married. See my ring? Yeah. Obviously, I'm not going to wear that ring much, but it is like my dream ring. So, with that being said, let's get on with the D in spades. Okay. Oh, no, I can't even do that yet. LindaGifford.com was my music site. Then I bought LindaKGifford.com for the book release with the intention of combining the two. And as soon as I let go of LindaGifford.com, big mistake. Warning. If you have any, like, if you have a .com with your name, buy every permutation. Because somebody, now if you go to LindaGifford.com, you can buy girls. They took my .com, and you can buy girls. They're for sale at LindaGifford.com, and I am livid. And I'm told, sorry, It was an open domain. But you can't tell me they didn't choose it because I've been doing this for 3 years. So Linda K. Gifford takes you to my site, and I am in the process of linking my music site to my Linda K. Gifford, Sweet Survivors, Sweet Shopping Group, all the links to the workshops. Everything is just like conglomerating into Sweet Survivor. But unfortunately, LindaGifford.com sells girls for sex. And I am sick. I am sick. So this is the kind of shit I deal with. I get shut down. I get people, my own family, someone in my family reported me and had me shut down, but not for long. It was said it was going to be 24 hours, but it was only like a couple. And then I got shut down for 24 hours last week. I don't even know why. Violating community standards. I'm like, childhood sexual assault isn't selling girls. It's trying to save girls and boys and women and any other identity you have. I love all of you. I respect every gender identity. And with all of this pressure all around us to be like this or be like that or be like your family or be like your friends or be like your whatever you aspire to be, you know, fake it till you make it. We're all trying to be something. You've got to be yourself first. Because if you act like your authentic self, then you won't attract dishonest things you don't like. Here's the problem with doing things. This like really goes back into last week. Well, last week actually was the D in spades, but I left town. Dianne Feinstein, the Honorable Senator Dianne Feinstein, although we do not agree on gun control, I respect her so much. She's one of the people I remember from my earliest childhood, you know, the leaders and the shakers, and all respect. And also then a dear friend of mine's father passed away, and she lost her stepfather, who was just as close, and her father within months of each other this year. So took a pause. I'm back. D in spades. Here we go again. There is no graduation date for survivors of childhood sexual assault. So what I hear from people I talk to and counsel and coach is they're waiting to feel like this, or they're waiting to feel like that, or they're waiting to feel joyous, they're waiting to feel love, they're waiting to feel excited, they're waiting to feel no fear. They're waiting. Everyone's waiting for something, whether you're a childhood sexual assault survivor or not. Everybody's goddamn waiting for something. Pardon my language. Gosh darn, waiting for something. For editing purposes. Why? This is your life. And the more that you try to be something for other people, which is why the A in spades exists, you have to ask for what you want, and why it's part of the D, because it like goes in order. Like, you know, SPA, ask. You got to ask for what you want to get into the don't wait to feel okay to be okay. But while you're out there being okay, you have to remember that you have the right to ask for what you want. And you have to remember that you have the right to make the kind of life you want. And just because you were sexually assaulted as a child, and maybe like me, I engaged in lots of sex that I thought was fine and good until I found the real connection, and then everything changed. And that was very recently. And it led me to a year's back off of publishing my book, because I had to rethink everything. I had to talk to people. I had to go to my own therapist, my lifelong counselor and my therapist. And I'm like, I had to do cognitive behavioral therapy. I had to rethink everything from fuck you, you don't need anything but you, from editing, you don't need anything but you, to if you remove everything from your life that is not the way you want it to be, and you find yourself blissfully alone, that is the only time that you will ever find true intimate connection with somebody else, because you've got to find it with yourself first. That being said, it took years of therapy and research and work and going through drugs that didn't work, and finding cognitive behavioral, trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy that does work, and finding neurolinguistic programming, which I now am an actual neurolinguistic practitioner, and it is so simple, and that's where we're going with this. Okay, I'm not saying everyone needs to do NLP and nothing else. I'm saying NLP is part of everything else. NLP is recognizing, stop, think. And it's harder for someone with CPTSD to just stop and think about something. It takes techniques. It takes work. That's what we did for the last few weeks. Please go back and review all that stuff. It's on YouTube. Same name, all socials, pretty close to the same name. But, so you do the removing from your life, and then you only accept not only what seems right. It doesn't matter what your family says. It doesn't matter what degree they have. It doesn't matter what their job is. It doesn't matter if they're, a prince or a janitor. It matters what they smell like. It matters what you feel like when you talk to them. And I really, really think it's important to address, and I do this a lot, so get used to it. But CPTSD survivors are so used to falling into sexual situations that they don't want to be in, because dissociation is so easy. It's just so much easier to just dissociate and go away. So if you're like me, you practice avoidance until you feel cornered by a friend or a potential romantic partner, and then even though it's too soon and you don't want to do it, you get into it. And the problem is, at that point, because you have CPTSD, you probably dissociate. So you have these feelings, but you dissociate and move away from it. So please go back and review that too, because I'm going to move on with that concept. But you can go back to the last 2 weeks, okay? And on YouTube, it's 2 half-an hours. It's not that much of your time, but I explained everything fully there. So you take your manifestation of reality, which means your newfound world of, I threw everything, I threw out all the shit I don't like. It's gone. Bye-bye. I don't like shit in my world. Now it's me. And now you have clear vision. And now you let your senses lead your way. Your gut and your heart. And I'm telling you, never have sex with anyone unless you have known them, hung out with them for months. And that goes for anyone, right? I'm so sick of hearing how us progressive liberals are so, well, just sleep with anybody. I didn't curse. I almost did. Good job, Linda. I'm not supposed to do that anymore. We'll sleep with anybody. We don't care. It's all just a fun game. No, that's a bunch of crap, and we all know it. You can't hijack love. Evangelicals, love comes in all forms. If it's real, it's real. And what I want for you is real love with the human that you want it with. And to do that, you're going to have to bring your authentic self. I didn't. I got married and divorced 3 times. I never brought my authentic self. If I had, maybe I wouldn't have got into the marriages. Maybe I would have. I don't regret it. I love my babies. They deserve to be in the world. Hindsight doesn't matter. What matters is moving forward. I'm glad for every experience I had that got me to where I am. And now, for the first time in my life, I feel free to talk to you about this instead of hide it. And while I still experience the traumatic, painful memories when I'm triggered, I can counter them with reason. So I go out in the world and I present. And yeah, it's still hard to walk through a door, believe it or not. I'm a singer-songwriter. I've been in front of thousands of people. I'm a speaker. I've done this for a long time. It's still hard. Every time. I can't even record videos. Like when I try to record a video, I can't do it. I stop, I start, I think about, oh, I could change that, I could do that better. I have to be live and on a roll. And then I'm just trying to tell you that the language of society needs to change. And to do that, you have to present. You have to present. I'm not interested in milquetoasts who just want to whine about all the tragedy that happened to them in their past. As I've said before, don't compare crosses. Don't compare crosses. You know, you didn't watch your family get macheted to death and only got saved, if you want to call it that. You're alive because you were rapeable and found a way to escape. You know, there's so much in this world. You don't live in Ukraine right now. You don't live in Hamas or Israel right now. Don't compare crosses. I went way into this in one of the early videos, so go back to that. But I will just say, I initially wanted to slap someone upside the head who was like, I've been sexually harassed and I can't sleep and I'm in horrible shape. And it's like, oh my gosh, what happened to you? And they're like, my boss pinched my ass. And I'm like, that's it? That's all, bitch? And then I'm like, whoa. This is before I was a neurolinguistic practitioner. Give me a learning curve here. But everyone's experience is their experience, and a horrifying experience feels horrifying, and you don't know how much you can take till you take it. So just because you've taken more doesn't mean that your experience was less or more traumatizing than someone who's had less. But the complex part of complex cPTSD, which is the little c, or the big C and the dash, which is a big hassle. It's always spelled differently, and I won't go to that. The deal with it is you got a complex other hurdle of dissociation that happens. So what I want you to do is go out in the world and be what you want to be and do what you want to do for yourself, and not dissociate into a role, into being something for somebody else. And talked a lot about this in the A. Go back to the A, ask for what you want, the week before last. Sexually speaking, for people with cPTSD who dissociate, the catch-22 is that now you're grown up, now you've found somebody you really love and they love you back, I'm assuming the best here, and you want to be involved with them, and they feel right, and you feel sexual sensations that lead you into wanting to sleep with them. But then at the point of actually doing it, you go on and do it, but you dissociate, because sex and sexual feelings in cPTSD survivors are associated with shame and guilt on such a gut level that we don't even identify it. So the going away is like a natural thing. It's not like I'm going to go away now because I don't like this. It's like, I love this person. They smell right. They have the right mind. We have the right life fit. And now, boom, you go away. And that's just horrible. Now that I realize I did that, I'm like, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. We need to educate. We need to change. So next week's going to be educate and advocate. I got started late here today. The first D was last week. So we're actually going to end up with 3 days on D because of Senator Feinstein's death and my friend's father's observation of life. So, we've got lots of time to talk more about this, but we're leading into E next week, educate and advocate, because if you're not willing to do that, you probably shouldn't be watching with me, because I am raising warriors. I am raising warriors. I want people, I want sweet hero action teams who report to THORN. You message me and I will anonymously give any information you have. If you think the neighbor is trafficking, if you think somebody's being violated or assaulted, THORN has the resources. THORN was founded and run by Ashton Kutcher. It is grown into a cyber capability that involves local, regional, federal, law enforcement, military, and private agencies that all work together to find these traffickers at the root and stop them. SWEET is survivors working to end exploitation and trafficking. And while, no, I wasn't like shipped across the world and sold, I was commoditized and shared in my own hometown by a pervert with his cousin and married cousin and friends. And it's a nightmare of childhood. Nobody should have to feel like that. No woman, no other, no man, nobody should be commoditized. And I am counting on you to educate and advocate. So the reason the SPADES program exists is to walk you through S, the shame is not yours. P, separate the past from the present. A, ask for what you want. Don't just take what's given in life, from the boardroom to the bedroom. And D, dive in. Don't wait to feel okay to be okay. And then we're getting to next week to educate and advocate. Educate and advocate. That is critical. And the final S is spirit. Don't worry, it's not religion. It's not religion. It's fix or flee. And we'll talk about that. But for the sake of, I'm going to go now. Just final, okay, two things. Two things I want you to do. Here's your homework. No big homework like last time. And we have an exercise to do. We're going to do it tomorrow. I said we were going to do it last week, but people died. Sorry. We're going to do it tomorrow. So your last week homework stands. I want you to write a list of what you want to do. And next to it, a split list. Write why you think you can't do that. What's standing in your way of doing that? You're going to find it's really hard to find what's standing in your way. And you're going to realize it's more of a fear than something you can rationally write, which is the beauty of writing and trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy, which I talked about last time. So I'm not going to do that. Go review it on YouTube, please. So the D in SPADES continues tomorrow at 3, unless they are pouring concrete again and busting concrete, which is why we were late today. But that's why I put ish on the header. I will talk to you soon. Ending 2 streams on 2 different things. Pretty soon, if someone will go freaking subscribe on YouTube, I don't know how to do YouTube. I'm just live streaming through Restream on every channel. And we're going to podcasts the week after next. But I can vertically stream on YouTube if I had 2 more subscribers. So please go subscribe. And start a $5 monthly subscription, will you? $5. $5. You're here. $5. Please. Thanks. Bye. SweetSurvivor.com. $5 monthly subscription. And you can stop it at any time. All by yourself.